Morning. Morning. Do I remember you? Sort of. Before. Are you from France? No, that was somebody else. Never mind. What am I doing? Oh, sorry. Oh, Japan. Okay. Welcome back. How should I set this up? This one. I had a crazy morning this morning. I forgot the code for our alarm, so I set off the alarm this morning, and I couldn't turn it off. And they sent a security guard here to turn it off for me, which didn't make me. I wasn't very happy about that. But they usually just shut it off remotely. I don't know why they couldn't do it this time. So I should get this set sorted out before I start baking it. Hamlin, Townsend, Brunswick, by famous Hanover City. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats that fought the dogs and killed the cats and bit the babies in the cradles and ate the cheeses from the vats and licked the soup from the cook's own ladles. Split open the kegs of salted sprats. They nest in the men's Sunday hats and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. At last, people in a body to the town hall came flocking. 'Tis clear, cried they, our mayor is a naughty. And as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking to find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate we'll send you packing. At this the mayor and corporation quaked with a mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. For a gilder eyed my ermine gown cell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap. Just as he said this, what should hap? At the chamber door, but a gentle tap. Bless us, cried the mayor. What's that? With the corporation as he sat, looking little through wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than a too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous, for a plate of turtle green and glutinous. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat, anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. Come in, cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin, but lips or smile went out and in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, it's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone. He advanced towards the council table, and please, your honor, said he, I am able, by means of the charm to draw, all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run. I think I heard something in the back here. I thought maybe I forgot to lock the door back there. Where was I? Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe the while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and a muttering grew to a grumbling, and a grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, brave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, followed the piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Wester, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to land home his commentary. Which was, at first shrill notes of the pipe, I heard a sound of the scraping tripe, and putting apples wondrous ripe into the cider presses gripe, and moving away of pickle tub boards, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and breaking the hoops of butter casks. It seemed as if a voice, sweeter far than by harp or by Sullivan's breed, called out, "Oh rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vaster isolatory. So munch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on." Hello, Montreal. I'm in Vancouver. Hello, friend. If you're from Montreal, you know good bagels then. We make Montreal style bagels here at Rosemary Rock Salt. Hello, welcome to the stream. Had a crazy morning this morning. My alarm went off. The store alarm went off and I couldn't shut it off. So I forgot the passcode. got one batch in the oven and one in the pot. I forgot to turn on the ceiling fan. Yeah, these are for you. If you're in Vancouver, come down and get a bagel. Yeah, this morning I forgot to turn on the hood fan, and it got super hot in here. I didn't realize that I had forgot to turn it on. Yeah, I got my job back. I asked for my job back, and they gave it back to me. I missed it. I took a poor man's vacation. Yeah, at least I'm working. I didn't stop working, I just had a few different jobs in the meantime. I'm gonna recite a poem here, just to keep myself entertained. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scared. They didn't really fire me. I sort of quit because there was some scheduling issues when I was. They fixed a lot of the problems that they were that they had when I was working here before. But I just had a schedule. I had a disagreement with one of the managers about my schedule, and I overreacted and walked off the job, which was not the best thing to do on my part. So. And I acknowledge my character flaws, I guess, would you call them. I don't know. I've had an attitude shift since then, I think. I had a few different jobs while I was after I left here. I worked for Cobb's for a while. Throwing the manager, yeah. You don't want to do that. I'm glad I didn't overreact that much. But yeah, I had a few different jobs while I was not here, I guess. I worked for Cobb's for a little while, learned how to make scones and cinnamon buns, but I didn't like the hours at Cobb's. The mornings were too early. No, Cobb's is a bread shop. They make bread, scones, cinnamon buns, sourdough. They're actually an Australian company that moved into Canada a few years ago. But they make really, really good bread. I say good bread by Canadian standards, it's good bread. But sure, by European standards, it's crap, but whatever. We are going to make some everything. Now, everything. Sorry, I didn't quite read those. Oh my god, it's so hot in here today. Oh. My room was so hot last night too, my god. I don't know. You're gonna have to buy an air conditioner or something. I'm gonna be one of those unfortunate men that die in a hot room. I can see why so many people die during heat waves. Like, you're just in a hot room and you're like, oh, I'm okay. And then, like, you fall asleep. And, like, 5 hours later, you're dead. It's a dangerous situation. Yeah, actually the other locations have fan. This location's not too bad. It usually stays pretty cool. The reason it's really hot right now is because I forgot to turn on the hood fan, and it's actually cooled down a lot since I turned that on. But yeah, we could use a fan in this place. The other locations have fans, and it helps a bit. No, we have the dough making, the bakers are separate. How hot? The oven is at it's at 365 right now, but it's actually the temperature actually varies quite a bit. It's probably like closer to like 380 at the back, and then probably about 350 at the front. I don't know. That's why we're constantly moving the bagels around in there, because it's the temperature varies a lot in these ovens. The back of the oven's quite a bit hotter than the front, for obvious reasons. China. No, we're in Vancouver. Turkey. Oh, was that the Turkish flag? I don't know the Turkish flag. It's a red with a crescent on it, isn't it? Oh, I burnt my wrist last week. I'm not going to show it to you because I got a band-aid on it. Yeah. Which Vancouver? Vancouver, Canada. Vancouver, British Columbia. Not Vancouver, Washington. The Canadian Vancouver. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye, askance to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What saved the waylay with his load? Wear longer gloves. Oh, yeah. I don't know if you can buy longer gloves. These ones are. I just need to be more careful. I was in a rush and I wasn't paying attention, and I put my wrist up against this hot metal on this pot burner here. That's how I burnt myself. I wasn't being careful. My first thought was he lied in every word, that hoary cripple with malicious eye. Asked kids to watch the working of his lie on mine, and mouth scarce able to afford suppression of the glee that pursed and scored its edge at one more victim gained thereby. What else should he be set for with his staff? What save the waylay with his lies and snare? All travelers might find him posted there, and ask the road. I guessed what skull might laugh and break, what crutch can write my epitaph for pastime in the dusty thoroughfare. If at its counsel I should turn aside into ominous track which all agree hides a dark tower, yet acquiescingly at it turn as he pointed, neither pride nor hope rekindling at the end described, so much of gladness some end might be. For what with my whole world wide wondering, what with my search drawn out through years, my hope dwindled into a ghost not fit to cope with that obstreperous joy success would bring. I hardly tried now to rebuke the spring my heart made, finding failure in its scope. As a sick man very near to death seems dead indeed, and feels begin and end the tears, and takes the farewell of each friend, and hears one bid the other go, draw breath freely outside, since all is over, he saith, and the blow falling no grieving can amend. While some discuss near other graves be room enough for this, and when a day suits best for carrying the corpse away, with care about banners, scarfs, and staves, and still the man hears all and only craves, he may not shame such tender love and stay. Thus I had for so long suffered in this quest, heard failure prophesied so oft being writ, so many times among the band of wit. The knights who to dark power search to rest their steps, the just to fail as they seem best, and all doubt was now should I be fit. So quiet as despair I turned from him, that needful cripple, out of his highway into the path he pointed, all the day being a dreary one at best, and dim was settling into its close, yet shot one grim red leer to see the plain catch its stray. For mark, no sooner was I fairly found, pledged the plain after pace or two, to pause and throw backward a last view, over the safe road was gone, grey plain all round, nothing but plain to the horizon's bound. I must go on, naught else remained to do. So on I went. I think I never saw such stark ignoble nature. Nothing throve, for flowers as well expect to see the grove, but chortle and spurge according to their law, might propagate their kind with none to draw. You think a bird had been a treasure trove. No penry inertness in grimace, in some strange sort were the land's portion. See or close your eyes, said nature peevishly, and nothing skills, I can't help my case. 'Tis last judgment's fire must cure this place, calcine its clods and set my prisoners free. If there pushed any ragged thistle stalk above its mates, its head was chopped. The bents were jealous else, what made the holes and rents in the dog's harsh forest leaves? Bruised as you balk, all hope of greenness, 'tis a brute must walk, passion their life out with the brute's intents. As for the grass, it grew as scarce as hair and leprosy. Thin, dry blades pricked the mud, which underneath looked kneaded up with blood. One stiff, blind horse, his every bone astare, stood stupefied however he came there, thrust out past service from the devil's stud. Alive he might be dead for aught I know, with red, gaunted, callop neck strained, and shut eyes beneath the rusty mane. Seldom went such grotesqueness with such woe. I never saw a brute who hated so. He must have been wicked to deserve such pain. I shut my eyes and turned them on my heart, as a man calls for one before he fights. I asked one draught of earlier, happier sights. Ere fitly I could hope to play the part. Think first, fight afterwards, the soldier's art. One taste of old time sets all to rights. Not it. I fancied Cuthbert's reddening face beneath its garniture of curly gold. Dear fellow, till I almost felt him fold, an arm in mine to fix me to that place, that way he used, alas, one night's disgrace, how would my heart's be fired and left it cold. Giles then, the soul of honor, there he stands, frank as 10 years ago, when knighted first, an honest man should dare, he said he durst, good, but the scene shifts, foe and hangman's hand pinned to his breast the parchment, his own band reads it, poor traitor spit upon and cursed. Better this present than a past like that, back therefore to my darkening path. No sound, no sight as far as the eye can strain. Will the night send a howlet or a bat, I asked, when something on the dismal flat came to arrest my thoughts and change their train. A sudden little river crossed my path. as unexpected as a serpent came, no ties congenial to the glooms. This as it frothed by, might have been a bath for the fiend's glowing hoof, to see the wrath of its black eddies be spat with plates and spoons. So petty yet so spiteful, all along low scrubby alders kneeled over it, drenched willows flung them headlong in a fit of rout despair, a suicidal throng, the river which had done them all the wrong, whatever that was, rolled by, deterred no whit. Which while I forded good saints, how I feared to set my foot upon a dead man's cheek, each step for feel a spear I thrust to seek, for hollows tangled in his hair or beard, and may have been a water rat I speared, but ugh, it sounded like a baby shriek. Now for a better country, vain presage, who were the strugglers, what war did they wage, whose savage trample could thus pad the dank soil to a plash, toads in a poisoned tank, or wild cats in a red-hot cage. The fight must so have seemed in that foul cirque, what penned them there with all the plain to choose, no footsteps leading to that horrid muse. Mad druids set to work their brains, no doubt, like galley slaves a Turk, pits for his pastime Christians against Jews. And more than that, a furlong on, why there, what bad use was that engine for? A wheel, not wheel, or brake, not wheel, that arrow fit to reel men's bodies out like silk, with all the air of Tophet's tool, on earth left unaware, or brought to sharpen its rusty teeth of steel. Then came some stone ground, once some wood, next to marsh it would seem, now mere earth, desperate and done with, so the fool finds mirth, makes a thing and mars it, till his mood changes and off he goes, within a rude bog, clay and marsh, sand and stark black dirt. Now blotches rankly colored, gay and grim, now patches where some meanness of the soils, broken to moss or substances like oils. Then came a palsied oak, a cleft in him, a distorted mouth that splits its rim, gaping at death and dies while it recoils. As far as ever from the end, not in the distance but the evening on, point my footsteps further at the thought, great black bird, Apollyon's bosom's friend, sailed past nor beat his wide wings dragon pen, that brushed my cap perchance the guide I sought. For looking up where I somehow grew, the plain had given place all round to mountains with such names that grace, mere heights and heaps now stolen in view. How thus they surprised me, solve it you, how to get from there was no clear case. Yet half I seemed to recognize some trick of mischief had happened to me, God knows when, in a bad dream perhaps, here ended then progress this way, when in the very nick of giving up one more time came a click, as when the trap shuts you're in the den. Burningly it came upon me all at once, this was the place, those two hills crouched like two bulls locked horn in fight, while to the left a tall scalp mountain, dunce daughter dozing at the very nuns after a lifetime of training for the sight. Not see what in the midst lay but the tower itself, the round squat turret, built of brown stone without a counterpart in the whole world. The tempest's mocking elf points to the shipman thus, the unseen shelf he strikes on only when timbers start. Not see, when no, because of night perhaps, why day came back for that. The dying sunset kindled through a cleft, the hills like two giants in the hunting lay, chin upon hand to see the game at bay, now stab and end the creature to the heft. Not here, when noise was everywhere it told, increasing like a bell, names in my ears, of lost adventurers my peers, how such was strong and such was bold, and such was fortunate, yet each of old, lost one moment knelled the woe of the years. There they stood, ranged along the hillside met, to view the last of me, for one more picture in a sheet of flame I saw them and knew them all, and yet, dauntless a slughorn to my lips I set and blew, child Roland to a dark tower came. Hello, I'm baking bagels, reciting poetry. Oh, there's 2 bagels down there. 4 batches of bagels. Whoa, ha, 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 ha. Hamlin, Townsend, Brunswick, my famous Hanover city. The river Weser, deep and wide, washes its wall on the southern side. A pleasanter spot you've never spied. But when begins my ditty, almost 500 years ago, to see the townsfolk suffer so from vermin was a pity. Rats, they fought the dogs and killed the cats, and bit the babies in the cradles, and ate the cheeses from the vats, licked the soup from the cook's own ladles, split open the kegs of salted sprats. They nest the men's Sunday hats, and even spoiled the women's chats by drowning out their speaking with shrieking and squeaking in 50 different sharps and flats. Alas, people in a body to the town hall came flocking. "'Tis clear," cried they, "our mayor is a naughty, and as for our corporation, shocking, to think we buy gowns lined with ermine, for dolts who can't or won't determine what's best to rid us of our vermin. You hope because you're old and obese to find in the furry civic robes ease. Rouse up, sirs, give your brains a racking, find the remedy we are lacking, or sure as fate will send you packing." At this the mayor and corporation quaked with mighty consternation. An hour they sat in council. At length the mayor broke silence. "For a guilder eyed my ermine gown sell. I wish I were a mile hence. It's easy to bid one rack one's brain. I'm sure my poor head aches again. I scratch it so, but all in vain. Oh, for a trap, a trap, a trap." Just as he said this, what should hap? At the chamber door, but a gentle tap. "Bless us," cried the mayor, "what's that?" With the corporation as he sat, looking little to wondrous fat. Nor brighter were his eyes, nor moister than too long opened oyster, save when at noon his paunch grew mutinous for a plate of turtle green and blueness. Only a scraping of shoes on a mat. Anything like the sound of a rat makes my heart go pit-a-pat. "Come in," cried the mayor, looking bigger, and in did come the strangest figure. His long queer coat from heel to head was half yellow and half red, and he himself was tall and thin, with sharp blue eyes, each like a pin, and light loose hair and swarthy skin, nor tuft of hair on cheek, nor beard on chin. The lips were smile when I went in. There was no guessing his kith or kin, and nobody could enough admire this tall man in his quaint attire. Quoth one, "It's as my great-grandsire, starting up at the trump of doom's tone, had walked this way from his painted tombstone." He advanced towards the council table, and "Please, your honor," said he, "I am able, by means of secret charm, to draw all the creatures living beneath the sun, that crawl or swim or fly or run, after me so as you never saw. And I chiefly use my charm on creatures that do people harm, the mole and toad and newt and viper, and people call me the Pied Piper." And here they notice around his neck a scarf of red and yellow stripe, to match with his coat of self-same check. And at scarf's end hung a pipe, and his fingers they noticed were ever straying, as if impatient to be playing upon this pipe, as low it dangled over his vesture so spangled. "Yes," said he, "Pied Piper as I am, in Tartaria friend to can, last June from his huge swarms of gnats, I ease and age in my am of a monstrous brood of vampire bats. And as for what your brain bewilders, if I rid your town of rats, will you give me 1,000 guilders?" 50,000 was the exclamation of the astonished mayor and corporation. Into the street the piper stepped, smiling first a little smile, as if he knew what magic slept in his quiet pipe a while. Like a musical adept to blow his pipe, his lips he wrinkled, and green and blue his sharp eyes twinkled, like a candle flame where salt is sprinkled. And ere 3 shrill notes the pipe uttered, you heard as if an army muttered, and the muttering grew to a grumbling, and the grumbling grew to a mighty rumbling, and out of the houses came the rats tumbling. Great rats, small rats, lean rats, brawny rats, brown rats, black rats, gray rats, tawny rats, brave old plotters, gay young friskers, fathers, mothers, uncles, cousins, cocking tails and pricking whiskers, families by tens and dozens, brothers, sisters, husbands, wives, called the Pied Piper for their lives. From street to street he piped advancing, and step for step they followed dancing, until they came to the river Weser, wherein all plunged and perished, save one who stout as Julius Caesar, swam across and lived to carry, as he the manuscript he cherished, to Rat Land home his commentary, which was, after shrill notes of the pipe, heard a sound as a scraping trite, the putting out the wondrous right into the cider presses bright, and moving away pickle cart hordes, and leaving a jar of conserve cupboards, and drawing the corks of train oil flasks, and breaking hoops of butter casks. And it seemed as if a voice sweeter far than my harp or my sulliers breathed called out, "Oh, rats, rejoice! The world has grown to a vast sorcery. Some lunch on, crunch on, take your nunch on, breakfast, supper, dinner, lunch on, and just a bulky sugar punch on, already staved like a great sun shone, gracious scarce an inch before me, just as methought it said, come bore me, I found the Weser rolling over me. You should have heard the Hanlon people ring the bells so they rock the steeple. Go, cried the mayor, and get long poles, poke out the nests and block up the holes, consult with carpenters and builders, and leave in our town not even a trace of the rats, when suddenly up the face of the piper perked in the marketplace. The first, if you please, my 1,000 guilders. 1,000 guilders. The mayor looked blue, so did the corporation too, for council dinners made rare havoc with claret, moselle, vintage, raw hop, and half the money would replenish their cellars big as butt of Rhenish, to pay this sum to a wondering fellow, with gypsy coat of red and yellow. Besides, quoth the mayor with a knowing wink, our business was done at the river's brink. We saw with our eyes the vermin would sink, and what's dead can't come to life, I think. So, friend, we're not folks to shrink from our duty of giving you something to drink, no matter of money to put in your coat. But as for the guilders, what we spoke of them, as you well know, wasn't a joke. Besides, their losses have made us thrifty. 1,000 guilders, come, take 50. The piper's face fell and he cried, no trifling, I can't wait beside. I promise a visit by dinner tide, and accept the crumb the head cook's potage. All he's rich in, probably left in the Calen's kitchen, of a nest of scorpions, no survivor. With him I proved no bargain driver, with you don't think I'll bait a stiver, and folks who put me in a passion may find me pipe after another fashion. How, cried the mayor, do you think I brook, being worse treated than a cook, insulted by a rival, with idle pipe and vesture piegle? Threaten us, fellow, do your worst, blow your pipe there till you burst. Once more he stepped into the street, and to his lips again laid his long pipe in smooth straight vein, and ere he blew 3 notes, such sweet soft notes as the musician's cunning never gave the enraptured air. There was a rustling that seemed like a bustling of merry crowds jostling at pitching and hustling. Small feet were pattering, wooden shoes clattering, little hands clapping, and little tongues chattering, and like foals in a farmyard when barley is scattering, out came the children running, all the little boys and girls, with rosy cheeks and flax and curls, and sparkling eyes and teeth like pearls, tripping and skipping ran merrily after. The wonderful music was shouting and laughter. The mayor was dumb, and the council stood, as if they were changed into blocks of wood, unable to move a step or cry, to the children merrily skipping by, could only follow with an eye the joyous crowd at the piper's back, and how the mayor was on the rack, and the wretched council's bosoms beat, as the piper turned from the high street, to where the Weser rolled its waters, right in the way of their sons and daughters. How he returned from south to west, and to Copperberg Hill his steps addressed, and after him the children pressed, great was the joy in every breast. He never crossed the mighty top, he's forced to let the piping drop, and we shall see our children stop. When lo, they reached the mountainside, a wondrous portal opened wide, as if a cavern was suddenly hollowed. The piper advanced and the children followed. When all were in the very last, the door in the mountainside shut fast. Did I say all? No one was lame, and could not dance a whole of the way. And in after years, if you'd blame the sadness he was used to say, is dull in our towns as my playmates left, I can't forget that I am bereft of all the pleasant sights they see, which the piper also promised me, for he led us, he said, to a joyous land, joining the town in jest at hand, where waters gushed and fruit trees grew, and flowers put forth a fairer hue, and everything was strange and new. The sparrow is bred a peacock here, and their dogs are run our fellow deer, and honeybees had lost their stings, and horses were born with eagle's wings. And just as I became assured, my lame foot was speedily cured. The music stopped, and I stood still, and found myself outside the hill, left behind against my will, to go now limping as before, and never hear of that country more. Alas, alas for Hamelin, there came to many a burgher's pate a text which says at heaven's gate, opes the rich at his easy rate, as the needle's eye takes a camel in. The mayor said east, west, north, and south, to offer the piper by word of mouth, wherever was men's lot to find him, silver and gold to his heart's content, if only he'd return the way he went, and bring the children behind him. but when they saw it was lost endeavor, and Piper and Dancer were gone forever, they made a decree that lawyers never should think their records dated duly, if after the day of the month and year these words do not as well appear. And so long after what happened here on the 22nd of July, 1376, in the better memory fixed, the place of the children's last retreat, they called it the Piper Street. Were anyone playing pipe or tabor, was sure for his future to lose their labor, nor suffered the hospital or cavern, shocked with mirth the streets so solemn, and opposite the place of the cavern, wrote the story on the column, and on great church window painted, the same to make the world acquainted, how their children were stolen away, and there it stands this very day. And I must not admit to say, in Transylvania there is a tribe of alien people who ascribe the way and dress of which their neighbors lay such stress to their fathers and mothers having risen out of some subterranean prison, into which they were Japan a long time ago in a mighty band, out of Hamlin towns in Brunswick land, though how or why they don't understand. So, Lily, let me and you be wipers, and store us up with old men, especially pipers. And if they should pipe us free from rats and mice, if we promise them aught, let us keep our promise. That was the Pied Piper of Hamelin by Rosemary Rock. By Robert Browning, my favorite poet of all time. That was a bad bagel anyway, so. Baking bagels. Montreal style bagels. I'll show you one. Here's, this is an everything bagel. Everything bagel. That was an everything bagel. It's almost ready. We got an every batch of everything, a batch of poppy, a batch of rosemary rock salt, and then we got I got plain in the pot. Plain in the pot. Excuse me. Oh, thank you. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind, follow you into the dark, no blinding light, or tunnels to gates of light, just our hands clasped so tight, wait for the hint of a spark, heaven and hell decide, they both are satisfied, illuminate, hello Belarus. I'm in Vancouver, Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. I'm sure you can buy some really nice bagels in Belarus. I think anywhere in Europe. I need to go on a European tour, and I need to eat all the bread that I can eat. Love of mine, someday you will die, but I'll be close behind, follow you into the dark, no blinding light, the tunnels and gates of light, this our hands clasped so high, wait for the hint of a spark, heaven and hell decide, they both are satisfied, illuminate those on their vacancy signs, there's no one inside you, when your soul imparts, I'll follow you into the dark. Catholic school, vicious as Roman rule. I got my knuckles bruised. My lady in black, I held my tongue. She told me, son, fear is the heart of love. So I never looked back. Heaven and outside, they both are satisfied. Illuminate the nose on their vacancy signs. There's no one beside you when your soul embarks. I'll follow you into the dark. I'll follow you into the dark. I am sweating like I've never sweat before. Don't you love it when Donald Trump's like, they'll feel the fire and fury like never before. Like never before. Fuck off. I hate Trump. It's probably a bad thing to say on hello Montreal again. Or we're making Montreal style bagels here in Vancouver. Montreal bagels, Vancouver style. Yeah, Saint Viator, yeah. I follow them on Instagram. I really want to go to Montreal, and just that's the one place I really want to go. Saint Viator. I follow them on Instagram, and I love. They're like the original. That's what we're based on. We're based on. We bake our bagels the same way they do, except we don't have a wood fire oven, so. I don't know. We probably shouldn't call our bagels Montreal style bagels because we don't have a wood fire oven. But whatever. We're not purists here in Vancouver. So. Saint. I don't know if I should say this, but St. Viator should open a bagel place over here. They do really good. Oh yeah, I heard about that. They had to put some kind of new vent on their building or something like that. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot of problems with baking with the wood fire ovens. That's why we have gas fired here. They're a lot cleaner, and they don't have the emission problems that the wood firing ovens have. But I mean, you don't get the flavor, right? So yeah, I guess, eh? yeah, I can see that being a problem. So yeah, we have a gas fire oven here. Our sister company, Seagulls, they have a wood fire oven, but I think they had a lot of problems with it with the city here too. Is like, because yeah, those wood fire ovens are dirty. They emit a lot of carbon monoxide. Shit. Yeah, yeah, eh? Yeah, I think I read an article about that. Yeah, we don't have that problem because we have a gas fire oven. So like we've never had any complaints about our oven here. But yeah, those wood fire ovens, I bet they burn really dirty. So yeah, it's a lot cleaner. You don't have to like deal with chopping wood and whatever. I mean, I imagine that's a lot of work. Yeah, but I really admire St. Viator. That's definitely one of the places I want to visit when I go to Montreal. Oh, thank you. Have a great morning. Thanks for watching. Yeah, it's too bad those wooden ovens aren't cleaner. Got 3 batches in the oven and 2 in the crates. I'm gonna shut this down pretty soon. On those. Oh, that's all for today, folks. Thanks for watching. I'll be back tomorrow morning. Have an excellent morning. Thanks for watching. See you later. Have a good day.